Hello, everybody. My name is Ron Clark, CEO of Clark International Group. We are a full service business sales, marketing, and AI consulting firm here in Orlando, Florida. Our slogan is automate the predictable, innovate the unimaginable, and dominate the formidable. So today I want to talk to you guys about business card training. And I know some of you are thinking, why would I need to have training on how to use a business card? Well, after 37 years in business, I can tell you with the number of events that I go to, not only on a yearly basis, but I've gone throughout the years, there are a lot of people who have no idea how to use a business card or what a business card really is for. And so today I want to talk to you in a very short video. This is going to be less than 10 minutes. We're going to talk about business card training. And first, I want to address print versus digital business cards. It's 2024. There is no contest any longer for which one of these you should have. If you don't have a digital business card accessible to you at all times, in all situations, then you are living in the 1900s. There's no reason for you not to have a digital business card on your phone at all times with you. And I just want to lay out some of the advantages of having a digital business card. First, it's always with you on your phone. You're never going to run out. You're never going to need to have more printed. And I cannot tell you how many times I have talked to people at networking events where they have said that to me. Well, you know what? I just ran out of cards, or I'm waiting for more to get printed. Or they hand me a card for a company they just started working for, and the company was too cheap to get business cards printed for them. So they scratch out the sales manager's name or the service manager's name and have to write their own name in it. That is, I mean, there's no better way to destroy your credibility than to be walking around with that kind of stuff in your pocket, if you even have it in your pocket, because most times people don't. So an advantage number one of a digital business card, always with you on your phone. And guess what? You never leave home without your phone, so you'll always have it. Number two, a digital business card can easily be sent to someone else's phone and stored forever. Now, I can tell you, after all the years of going to these events and coming home with pockets full of cards, especially if it's been like I've talked to 15 or 20 people at an event, I'm not going to store all those cards in my phone. I'm not going to take the time to do that. It's just too arduous to get all that information loaded in, especially when you have a busy schedule like I do. And I'm sure many of you do too. So the nice thing about this is with a digital business card, you put your phone up next to somebody else's, and depending on the type of digital business card you have, it can either be instantly sent to them, or you can connect by pointing the camera at the QR code on your phone, or you can send them a link. There's a number of ways to share these. I know the digital business card I use called Hi Hello. It's free. It costs absolutely nothing. I have 3 business cards loaded onto my Hi Hello app. One for my Clark International Group as the CEO, the other as for me being an author of the book Dynamic ChatGPT, AI Strategies for Small Business. And then the third one is for the professional networking group that my wife and I established called NABLN, North American Business Leaders Network. If you want more information about that, you can visit us at www.nab as in boy, L as in Larry, N as in Nancy, nablin.com. So the free options for business cards are out there, so there's no reason not to have these with you. And again, there's so many different ways to send the information and have it stored on somebody else's phone. The third reason or third advantage of a digital business card is you can include far more information about your business and your products and services than you can ever do on a business card, a printed one. Now, I can tell you, there's been plenty of times I've come home from events with business cards in my pocket. I've talked to so many people that, one is blurring with the other. I can't remember who's who most of the time. And the worst thing is I'll be looking at a business card that'll have a name of a company, somebody, the title of the person that I talked to along with their name, their phone number, and their email address. And I have no idea what they do for a living. I've never heard of the company before. I'm not going to prioritize hanging onto that card, especially if I really didn't connect with that person in the first place. So that's the difference between a digital business card and a printed one. A printed one, there's only so much that you can put on a printed card. With a digital business card, you can load everything in there about your business, your products and services, what kind of problems your products and services solve. I think that's a huge one because when you give somebody a business card, they have no idea really what you do. They don't, and they're not going to remember, no matter how great you think that conversation was, they are not going to remember everything about you. So it's going to make it very hard to refer you to others. And that's the reason why you want to load as much information about your product or service and your business onto that digital business card. Because if they ever run across a referral for you, they're going to know right away, hey, look, and I have a friend that does all of this, or I have a business acquaintance that does all of these things, and they're going to be able to forward your card, your digital business card, onto that person. And that brings me to advantage number 4, okay? Guys, people aren't walking around with your business cards, your printed business cards on their person. They're not. I ask this question all the time. How many of you in this room have a printed business card? And almost everybody raises their hand. And I ask them, how many of you carry around the business cards of other people? Nobody raises their hand. And that's because no one does that. And the beautiful part here is with a digital business card, it's always going to be with them. And again, it'll have all that information about your products and services. Number 5, digital business cards don't get lost or thrown out. Guys, I've thrown out more business cards over the year than I can possibly think about. And, a lot of them I never put the information in because I'm home with 15 or 20 of these. And I'm like, I'm just going to put 2 or 3 in that seem like the best ones for me. And the rest I get rid of. And so does everybody else. But you don't do that with a digital business card. The next advantage is when you use a digital business card, you're perceived as being tech savvy. You're in the 21st century. You're on the cutting edge, and people like doing business with people who are on the cutting edge of business. So I highly, highly recommend that you use digital business cards. There are a lot of free options out there. Again, I mentioned Hi Hello. It's the one that I use. I know there are others out there, and some of you may need even more of a robust option. There are plenty of apps out there. If you just go online on your app store and look up digital business cards, or even Google them to see which the best ones are for your needs. There's plenty of sites out there that compare and contrast, but I highly recommend you do it. Now, so what do you do with your digital business card, and what should be on your digital business card? So let's address that one first. Here are the things that should be on your digital business card. First, the usual information: name, company, title, and contact information. And unfortunately, most of the people I run into who have upgraded to a digital business card, that's all they ever put on there: name, company, title, and contact information. Well, if that's all you're ever going to put on there, you might as well hang on to your printed cards. The digital business card can do so much more if you allow it. Here's what I mean. The second thing that should be on there, besides your usual information, should be your slogan for your company, your value statement, and or a mission statement. And then these 2 things that I can promise you very few people have ever heard of. And if you will follow this and put this into your digital business cards, I can promise you your leads, your lead flow, your referral sources are going to increase exponentially. And here are 2 things that I highly recommend be on your digital business card, besides the slogan and the value statement and your usual information. The first is what a good client lead is for you. Specifically, what does a good client lead look for you? If you were to build the perfect client profile, what would that be like? And if you know what that perfect client looks like for you, why are you not sharing that with the world? That should be on your digital business card, because I got to tell you, with all the people that I know and all the people that I meet, I'm never going to remember what a good client lead is for someone unless I'm able to look at it in writing on my phone under their contact information. So you should have in detail what a good client lead is for you. And then secondly, you should have what a good professional contact is for you. Professional contacts, in my opinion, if those relationships are developed over time, they will lead you to more referrals than you could possibly ever imagine. And they are, in my opinion, the most important professional relationships you're ever going to have. So you should have a detailed description of what a good professional contact looks like for you. Maybe it's somebody who works in your industry but is not competitive with you. Maybe it's somebody who works in an industry that's ancillary to the one that you're in, but feeds into it at certain points. Either way, you should sit down and give some thought to what a good professional contact is, and not just one. There should be 3 or 4 or 5 different industries so people know who to refer to you. And again, those professional contacts go a long way to helping you continue to have a lead flow over time. The next thing that should be on your digital business card is the extent of what your company offers and the problems they solve. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Again, the more detail you can put into about what problems your products or services solve, the easier it is to refer you to people when someone comes across that type of a client that might be perfect for you. Now, I will make a note here. There are a lot of people that I meet that have hobbies or side hustles, whatever you want to call them, that are secondary to your primary career. I'm going to highly recommend that you do not put them on your primary business card. You can make that a second or a third business card for yourself. So when you come across people that have a need for your side hustle or your hobby, you can give them that business card. But I never recommend combining everything that you do onto one card. And here's the reason why. It makes you look disjointed and fractured in what it is that you actually do for a living. And that's going to raise that question in a lot of people's minds. Well, what exactly do you do for a living? Because none of these things are related. And really what it does is it gives the perception of someone who's not successful in anything. So that's why they're doing 4 or 5 things at once. So highly recommend that any side hustles or hobbies that you have, they go on a second business card, not on your primary card. Now, finally, let's talk about how to distribute these cards. Once you get the digital business card set up, you're going to want to distribute them. And what I do is whenever I update my digital business card, I send it out to everyone on my contact. Over 1,000 people will get an updated version of my contact card. And I will highlight what changes I made so they'll look. And I text them a lot of times this card. I do not email these cards. I'll text them with the new link for my digital card, and I can put a link into the text message. Or if you want to send them a QR code, that's fine. I prefer the link. And the reason I text this is when people get a text message, they normally respond to it far faster than they ever would with an email. Emails can get lost in spam or junk file, or people just have too many, so they don't look at them. Text message, people, especially if it's from somebody they know, they'll click on it right away. And then they'll be able to see what changes that you've made to your business card. Now, before you send those out, here's my final note and a very strong suggestion. And the final note is this. Make sure that you go through and look at your digital business card for any spelling errors or any issues that the card might have before you send it out. Because people will judge you based on the way you communicate. And if you communicate poorly, if there's a lot of misspellings, if punctuation isn't proper, if you've got these enormous run-on sentences, or you have disjointed thoughts in the way that you communicate, I'm going to highly recommend that you use an AI assistant like ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot or Claude, whatever you want to use, to go in and make your message more coherent and more professional. And guys, we wrote a whole book on this. Again, Dynamic ChatGPT AI Strategies for Small Business. And in that book, we talk about the importance of communication. It's one of the chapters is making sure you communicate well and knowing the right ways to use an AI assistant in asking the right questions so you'll get the right answer. So if you're not sure how to put all your information into an AI assistant, either ask someone or, shameless plug, you can go on Amazon and download a copy of our book, either on Kindle It's available everywhere. It was a bestseller for a long time. And again, a lot of the information there is still relevant today, even though we wrote it over a year ago. It's still something that you want to get your hands on if you can, but it will help you produce something that really looks sharp. And then what I suggest is, again, before you send it to anyone, that you choose one or two people that you really trust, a spouse, a really close friend, business associate, send it to them and have them give you critical feedback on what it looks like. And, take their feedback to heart because they're trying to help you, okay? It's really important that you make sure that everything looks sharp before it goes out to all of your clients and all of your contacts. So with that, I want to encourage all of you, if you create a digital business card, I would love to connect with you. I'm writing a book right now on developing a sphere of influence. And one of the things that I'm doing is creating different programs to help me continue to grow my sphere of influence, which is in the tens of thousands of people now, simply because of techniques that I use. And I'm putting those techniques into my new book, which does not have a title yet, or I would share that with you in a shameless plug as well. But if you want to connect with me after you develop a digital business card, please send me your digital business card. I will take it in email because otherwise my text messages will get blown up. You can send it to me at Ron, at clarkinternationalgroup.com. And Clark International Group, the word international is abbreviated, so I'll spell all that out for you. It's CLARK for the name Clark. International is N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, L as in Larry, so INTL, and then the word group, GROUP.com. So Ron at clarkinternationalgroup.com. If you'll send that to me, I will make sure that I put that into my contacts, and if you don't have my card for some reason, I will make sure I send you mine as well. So thank you all for joining me today on this short training on business cards. I hope you got something out of it. And please look for many of the other videos that we are producing with Clark International Group on our YouTube channel.